Welcome to the shit show.
Hey, it is the All Elite Wrap-Up for September 11th, 2025. I'm Tim. Tom is not here. Tom has abandoned me. Tom has abandoned us, comrades. Tom has decided his family is more important, and so he's doing family things out of town in one of the, I forget where he's at, one of the shutdowns, right? Charlotte, Shreveport, Sheboygan. I don't know where he's at. Tune in next week. He'll tell you all about it, I'm sure. He'll tell you about how he probably almost got arrested and whatever else he got up to in whatever shutdown he's in. Maybe he's in a town near you. If you see him, stop him, say, hey, you should be there for Tim, but you're not. You're not there. And so it's just me. It's just me doing the show solo. And that's where I need you. I need you to jump in the chat. If you're watching this live. If you're not watching this live, you should have been here. Stay tuned to us. AllEliteWrapup.com. Subscribing there is free. And you just get an email each week saying, hey, going live tonight. Here's the time. Because sometimes it varies, but it's usually right now. It's usually Thursdays, 7:15-ish in the one true time zone, U.S. Central Time. And man, we've got a lot of stuff to talk to you tonight, right? So join in the chat. Talk to me because I need somebody to bat stuff off of. Normally Tom is here and I don't have that. So it's just going to be me with my unfiltered thoughts. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows that can get dangerous. So we're here. We're in it. We're going to do it. So join us in the chat. Check us out on Blue Skye also throughout the week. If you want to join us, Tom is usually there skeeting throughout the shows. Live skeeting on the internet, as we like to call it. Join us there and just talk to us. We want to talk to you, but we've got a lot to talk about in this chaotic episode of Dynamite that happened last night. I don't know about you, but I thought it was crazy. It's insane to me, right? Philly, I think we're coming up on the final portions of their what do they call this, residency in Philadelphia, and I like this. I like these residencies. I want them to do more of these. Find a place that'll have a cool crowd and do a couple weeks there, right? I'm sure the talent loves that, and some of the staff, right? You get to kind of relax a little bit, stay in a place, get to see the town a little more, and I feel like the vibe is hot, right? I like it. I want more of these, right? And here we are again at the 2300 Arena, and man, Philly is on fire here tonight, right? AEW gave them a show to remember, and they helped contribute to that, man. We've got matches set up for All Out. We got a street fight, a Philly street fight, right? We just got a lot to talk about, right? We've got the 10-man tag match at the end. We've got Daniel Garcia to talk about. So, I don't know, get a drink, sit down. Let's talk some wrestling, right? I'm getting excited to do this. Again, join me in the chat right here tonight. Talk to me as we're going through. I want you to tell me what you thought about the stuff, or ask me questions, or veer me off topic if you need be, right? And don't forget to subscribe to us, AllEliteWrapup.com. I'm going to try to get through my notes here. Normally, I would have Tom to bat forth and talk, and we would just kind of free wing it, but I'm going to go off my notes. And so, practice my old radio chops, right? I'm going to try to do this for an hour, and we'll see if I can still pull this off, right? If I can still map things out well, if I can still get us where we need to be with my chops, right? My good radio chops. So join me in the chat, which we didn't have in radio. That's for sure. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. And it began with what I can only assume is like, I don't know if you're like me, that you know that this is the best theme music that Mikey Ruckus, is that his name, has come up with for AEW. Bryan Danielson's music makes me, like, in my head, I'm picturing a montage of me living the greatest moments, right? Because I fully believe, listening to this music, that I was born for greatness, right? Like, when this music's playing and I'm hearing it, like, in my head, I'm like running the marathon, right? I'm getting that promotion, right? You know what I mean? Right? riding in the new drop top, right? Accepting my party's nomination for president. All right. Just, I was born for greatness hits, and we now have Bryan Danielson as a permanent full-time member of the AEW commentary team. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Again, join in the chat, talk to me, hit me up in the comments later if you're watching later, but this means a lot, honestly. And we could talk more about, Tony Schiavone sort of sliding, stepping back, maybe doing collision only. I feel like that's a good swap out because, right, I think Danielson adds something here that is going to help in the storytelling of these stories that we're about to get into. He's a pivotal player and character in a lot of the storylines going on overall, and I think he kind of will be able to speak to that a whole lot more than Tony Schiavone in Live on Dynamite, right? Not that Tony Schiavone's bad. Love Tony Schiavone. Want him there. I want to see him every week. I want to see him doing interviews, calling some things, right? They swap people in and out. Don't hate Tony Schiavone. Don't want him gone. This isn't like a JR situation, right? But yeah, Bryan Danielson. Fun fact, Bryan Danielson said that he found out he got this role the same way we all did when Tony Khan posted it online. Just said, hey, Bryan Danielson, full-time commentary. And Bryan Danielson's like, awesome. Good to know. I don't know how much of a work that is, but that's what he says, right? And I like this, man. Right off the bat, he's good. We've got him up against Don Callis, right? He's throwing, he's the balance to Don Callis being a jackass, trying to keep things about the action in the ring. Bryan Danielson's good at this, right? You're going to be able to hear that open mouth smile, though, right? Through that energy throughout the show, though, man. He's good. He's a geek for this. I think he's going to be good in that role. And again, like I said, he's a pivotal player in a lot of what's going on here, right? So he has the personal history with Jon Moxley and Claudio, right? They effectively ended his career. Daniel Garcia, right? He tried to personally mentor Daniel Garcia, did Bryan Danielson, right? So he's going to now sit here front row and see, sort of the outcomes of his, inability to sort of get Garcia on the path he wanted him on. We got Tino Ibarra in the chat, says, love hearing Danielson on commentary. He adds a deeper level of realism. And that's what I'm talking about, right? So these storylines, especially with the Garcia, the Death Riders, those kind of folks, Danielson's going to have a lot more to say about the story they're trying to tell and what they're doing than is Tony Schiavone. It just is what it is. Yeah, Theo P says, oh no, T-Mac is missing. Did the Trump secret police get him? No. What happened here, and I explained this a little bit earlier, and I won't spend too much time as to not, bore everybody here. Tom just doesn't love you as much as I love you. Tom decided his family was more important, and so he's on a trip with them. And I guess. But yeah, back to this. Bryan Danielson on commentary is awesome. I think the general online consensus that I saw was that everybody likes this, right? Everybody likes having Bryan Danielson around. I don't think anybody's going to dispute that. I hope we don't lose Tony Schiavone a lot, right? I want him there every week. I want to see him every week, but maybe he's not calling every match is what it is, right? I think that's where we're at. But yeah. All right. We open up and we get right into the world title picture, right? We've got Hangman versus Josh Alexander, right? The walking weapon, right? Tino Ibarra in the chat says, so we can't talk crap about Tom all night. Oh, he says, so we can talk crap about Tom all night and he can't do anything about it. And I think Theo agrees. He says, yeah, and man, yes. Tom, look, you can talk crap about him all the time and he really can't do much about it other than say something back, right? He's going to track you down. I mean, I won't speak for the man. Tom can get vengeful. But feel free in the chat. Line up all the stuff you got, and then next week he'll respond, which I think next week we got picks, so I'll have to wear that damn shirt, but it'll be my opportunity to get it off of me, so I am looking forward to that. But yes, talk shit about Tom. All right, so here we are, back on Dynamite. Our opening contest, right? Grudge match, a rematch from the Owen Hart Cup tournament, if I remember correctly. Josh Alexander, the walking weapon, taking on Hangman Adam Page, and Hangman Adam Page gets his chance at beating some ass, right? Cowboy shit. I like that Hangman is now positioning himself as this kind of Stone Cold-esque of like, say whatever you want, but all I'm about to do is just start beating your ass, and then none of that fucking talking matters. So what are you going to do about it, right? I like that. I like where we're going here. And, the Don Callis family's out there, of course, right? Bryan Danielson, like as I said, is kind of counteracting Callis's cheesy heel shit on the commentary table. And, Hangman wins here, right? Like he gets the best of everything. They did a lot of work on the highly debated hardest part of the ring on the apron, right? A lot of dead eye out there. A lot of stuff out there, right? They like using that. But Hangman, he neutralizes the interference, right, of the classic interference of the Don Callis family. I think there was Lance Archer, Rocky Romero, if I remember correctly. He gets the buckshot lariat, which we all love. He gets the victory. We're all, yay. And then we get to what we're really here for, right? We get face-to-face of Kyle Fletcher saying, fucking acknowledge me. Maybe not exactly that. But, he's like, hey, the proto star, which I still think sounds like a hemorrhoid treatment. He says, answer my challenge. I want the world title shot. I'm the fucking best. Look at me. Paraphrasing. And Hangman's responses here is where it gets really good, right? He tells him like, hey, you're great. You're awesome. You're cool, but you're not ready. And I think the layering in this is like, it was about like, I've been here, I've seen you, I know what this is, right? This wasn't just like, you're not ready, you're a chump. This was like, yeah, you've got all the tools, but you don't know like what this means. You don't know what this is going to do to you. You don't know what you're going to have to become to get this and maintain it. Like you see this and you think you want this, but like, you're not ready to be this guy is kind of what Hangman's saying here, right? And I don't even think Fletcher in character here necessarily fully picks up on what Hangman's putting down there, right? He's just like, oh, I've heard all the time, I'm not ready. And Hangman's like, that's not what he's saying, brother, right? You don't understand what this pressure is going to do to you, right? You're in for it, right? Like this is going to be bad for you. And so you're not ready. So like, I'm going to go to depths you're not going to be able to go to. I think it's kind of what he's after. This is almost seeing himself in a young Kyle Fletcher, right? The hubris of like thinking that you could even, right? That you could even right now. How dare you, right? But again, remember, hit me up in the chat. Hit me in the comments if you're watching this later. But I really like this Hangman promo. And I am really looking forward to this match. Spoiler alert, in my picks, I mean, unless something major changes, not a chance in hell do I think Kyle Fletcher comes away winning the men's world championship for AEW. But, it's pro wrestling, right? You never know, and that's the fun of it, is sometimes that shit happens, right? The thing you don't think has a snowball's chance in hell in happening, right? So stay tuned for that, for these picks. But Kyle Fletcher is awesome. I think Kyle Fletcher is the future. I think Kyle Fletcher can be a lot of things moving forward. I think you can highlight him in many ways and have him be a major player. I do think he's not ready to be the like star champion that you have, at least for a long period of time. It's wrestling, right? It's all made up. But I think this is great. I think that them doing this and just kind of using the Don Callis family the way they have around Kyle Fletcher is great. And I think you're able to give a good chance for Hangman to bloody somebody up, like beat him half to death, right? Which will give Kyle Fletcher this extra edge of badassery, right? That he took a fucking cowboy shit ass whooping, right? And damn near made it all the way through, right? Still lived to tell the tale, but that's because Hangman had some grace, right? Like that's where I think we're gonna go. And I'm happy to see it. Hangman, God, he's just the coolest, right? Again, with this swagger, this edge of him being like, fucking, okay, but how about I just punch you in the face, right? Like, then you won't be such a fucking smooth talking asshole. I like that a lot. I really like that a lot. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think? What do you think? I know. I think most people thought the opening here, the Philly crowd really was into fucking with Kyle Fletcher, right? The socks line that Hangman came up with, maybe we hit that more, right? Kyle Fletcher should never wear socks again, and we should unleash this idea that everybody should fuck with it. People could be bringing socks. We could sell socks as merch, right? Like just fucking going crazy. They were also chanting bald at Josh Alexander. Poor Josh Alexander catching the bald stray. Philly crowd was awesome. But yeah, the socks thing, we should really, Kyle Fletcher, because he looks like that guy with it, like, is not wearing socks when you probably like should be wearing socks. And you're like, why is that a fashion choice? And have people fuck with him about that so bad. We should, like, remember the ECW segment where they threw the chairs in the ring? Socks, right? Socks. Tino says, Kyle rocks your socks off, shirts or something. Yeah, something, right? Or socks. We could sell socks. Like, Hangman could, like, be like, look at this. And, like, look, I made you some socks. And it's just got face, like, Hangman's face on it, doing something stupid, like, thumbs up. You wouldn't buy those? I would order those tonight. So, yes, socks. Kyle sucks socks, right? Like, Kyle sucks socks. Oh, so much we could do. We could do a whole wardrobe of Kyle sucks socks. Say that 5 times fast. I'm here for it. Toni, hire me. I would say hire Tom, but obviously he abandons his job. He doesn't show up for work. All right. We got a vow from MJF. MJF is, Theo P says T-Mac ditched us. He's not, MJF has been up and down over the years, right? There's been times where I had said he's top 5 all time already in his young career for me. And I still might hold that up if I really had to think through it. But there's times where he doesn't, he's just kind of spinning his wheels. Not necessarily that I think it's his fault. There's just not much character work to do. This anger that he displayed towards Mark Briscoe was awesome. This felt like a movie villain scene, right? He's just like venomous, right? Talking about, so he starts with the marriage thing because, if anybody looks, we like to stay in front of the curtain here on the show, but MJF got married over the weekend. A bunch of wrestlers are there in the pictures. Hangman's kind of there in the back. They kind of played into it saying Hangman crashed the wedding. Good stuff, right? Tino says, just saw MJF's wife say she wasn't going to see Blink-182 instead of going on a honeymoon because MJF is the worst. Or says she was going to go see. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And so because of that marriage, he's like talking about that, right? But then he reveals he wasn't talking about her. He was talking about being married to the game, married to hate, married to vengeance, right? Getting his Vince McMahon in, right? I like this though, right? I still don't necessarily, I don't hate it, but I don't get what we're doing here with Mark Briscoe in the midst of this MJF Hangman hatred. He feels like for reference, he feels like R-Truth in a John Cena storyline, right? When he came up with the little Jimmy stuff, right? Like, he feels like out of place, right? He feels like he shouldn't be there. But, I mean, this is fine. This is good stuff. And again, I liked this a lot. I like how angry he got. And he says, again, because of the wedding, that, whatever stipulation you pick, Mark, I'm walking down the aisle and I'll say I do to whatever, right? Like, I do, right? Getting all crazy and freaked out. I like it. He's just, it's hard to boo him, right? MJF, even though that's what we do, right? I say it's not hard. Like, I'll do it in there, but like, I like the guy a lot, right? But I think maybe that's the point of it, right? Like, everybody unilaterally likes Mark Briscoe, so maybe they're hoping this will sink in when he murders him. Is that what's going to happen? Is he going to murder Mark Briscoe? Is he going to pluck him to death with his own chickens? What's going to happen here at All Out? We're coming up. We're going to make some predictions next week. I'll have to wear that god-awful Jeff Jarrett shirt because I lost last predictions. But Tom will lose these predictions because he's not paying attention. He's not on the job here to talk to you about this with me. So you should join in on the chat. Talk to me like Tino is doing, like Theo is doing, and more of you should do. All right. This is one of the segments that really piqued my interest coming up here. I really liked what we did here and how this played in later and maybe more. And it's obviously going to have further implications. But we get the Young Bucks in the back. They're still being some schmucks, right? Cutler. We got Cutler, and he's like, fuck off, which is great. But I wish, and maybe we still get there, but I want the Cutler redemption story where he's the only one having success and having to teach them how to like get over. But I don't think we're ever going to get that. But Cutler gets his gets to say what he had to say. And they're just like, fuck this, man. We need some money. And then we get Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley sits down and he's like, are you fucking serious? I'm paraphrasing. Like, what? All that is bullshit. You are still the Young Bucks. You are still, which, they're fucking 72 years old. They're not young, but you're still the Young Bucks. You're still the greatest tag team in the world. You're still, who you are or whatever, right? He's like, hey, you need the money. You're going to take the money. I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the fucking violence, right? I'm here to beat some ass. I'm here to stab people with forks. I'm here to rip holes in ears. I am here to put steel nailed toothbrushes in my back because that's what I do. You take the money. I don't need the money. Can't hurt myself with the money. You take it. And that's all they needed to hear. They are like, bet we're going to fuck some people up, right? I mean, they don't say that exactly, but yeah. So, $500,000, right? Or I think so. It's $500,000. So he's like, you guys get it. You guys fucking take it all. We don't give a shit. Get your share. $250 each. It's a lot of fucking money, right? I don't make that, but in like a day and a half. All right. Remember to join me in the chat, and brings me up. Speaking of how rich I am, donate to the show. AllEliteWrapup.com. You can continue right on without subscribing. It's free. You can subscribe for free. We will not sell your information. We just send you an email telling you when to pay attention to our live streams. But the website right there, you go there. There's a donate link. You can send us money 2 ways: PayPal, Cash App. I'm here for you. I'm a man of the people. Give me some people's money. You know what I mean? Send it in. Send it in. Send it in. Tino Ibarra says, Mox saying, I'm evil but not rich guy evil. Yeah. Right. That's right. He's not rich guy evil. He's just sinister fucking serial killer evil. No need for money. Do what I do in a pig shack. You take the money. Fucking too much to worry about. Fucking, oh, money won't problems, as a wise philosopher once told me. All right. What we got? All right. Follow up to last week's events. We get Rio and Alex Windsor taking on Mercedes Moné and Emi Sakura, right? I like Emi Sakura. Am I the only one? I like it when she's here. I think she's good. Obviously, we don't involve her in a whole lot of storylines, but we kind of do here, right? Because we're talking about how she's the trainer, the mentor of Rio. And we get, a tag team wrestling match here with these ladies, right? Tino Ibarra loves Emmy loves when Emmy shows up. Yeah. Join the chat. Talk to me like Tino is. I agree with you. Emmy's awesome. Emmy's good. But the match followed, classic tag team flow, right? This was set up so Mercedes' team can lose, but she didn't lose, right? She didn't give up. She was close, right? Winza had her in the old sharpshooter, right? Had her in the sting snap, right? Whatever we call that. And Rio, I think, had a crab or something and gets the victory on her teacher, right? On her teacher. So that's where we're at with that. I don't know. This was fine. I saw a lot of split opinions online about this. I don't know where everybody landed with this. It was fine, right? I don't think it really expanded much in a story here. It just kind of stalled to get us to All Out, right? We're going to get the title match, and that'll be fine. That'll be fine as well. But I don't think Rio's winning that either. Spoiler alert for some picks. Given what I've seen so far, I don't know. What do you think? A lot of people online said the vibe between Rio and Mercedes wasn't quite there either. That it was a little clunky. So maybe they'll get that cleaned up for All Out. I didn't notice that necessarily, other than just that all this was fine. Like I felt like this was the least storyline moving portion of the show for me. But I'm only one, right? As Tom says, who's not here. Tom is not here. He's abandoned his duties. He's not here at his post, but I'm here. You're welcome. As Tom says, wrestling is big enough that everybody can have their flavor, right? We're all here. We're all enjoying it. We'll get Rio and Mercedes Moné, right? All right. We get into something a little more storyline driven here, where we get the 6-man tag match, right? We get, we're going to get a 6-man tag match at All Out, right? With Gates of Agony and Hurt Syndicate. So we get sort of a teaser for that with Ricochet and Shelton Benjamin. And the backstage segment, right, is Ricochet saying, hey, gentleman's agreement, right? No interference. Send my guys to the back. Ain't going to come out and going to do nothing. What say you? 1-on-1, right? And Shelton Benjamin obliged, right? He says, fucking made the command decision to sit on his own. Send these dudes to the back. I'll beat your ass on my own. Show you I'm going to fucking murder you. I'm better than you. Fine. We'll do that. And I like that, right? I like the little segment, right? It spares us each week having to go through the routine of the competing factions standing there staring at each other for no reason. The match now, clash of styles, right? Ricochet is a little more high-flying. Shelton Benjamin is the wrestle molest you, right? Wrestle less, I don't know what you call that. Molestle. He's down there ground and pound, right? Just freakishly athletic. He's 50 years old, but still explosive. I think we got a Spanish fly from Ricochet. We got the scissors again. I like the scissors. I don't think you need to infuse it too much into his current storyline with the Gates of Agony and this Hurt Business thing because, I think you got enough meat on the bone here. It's fine to be his sledgehammer, right? A la Triple H. But I think, keep it around because when he's getting a little more crazy in the head about things, the go-to being the scissors is a nice touch for Ricochet. I like that. But, of course, Benjamin broke it in half. We got to get some new scissors, of course, right? Got to get some new scissors. But they didn't honor that gentleman's agreement that they offered. And Taya Leona and Bishop Khan come out. They distract the referee, headbutt, right? Ricochet rolls him up, gets the victory. Fucking bench-clearing brawl happens, right? Security separating. Good setup for All Out. Maybe something happens on Collision to get us a little more appetizer until we get there. But I like it. Again, there's a lot of pre-AEW history involved here to kind of sprinkle in. We've known publicly behind the curtain that they'd considered Ricochet as a fourth member. They hinted at that on TV already. It's part of the storyline rolled in. I like all of this. It'll be a good match. I don't think we're going to get anything major in the storyline here, right? So maybe it continues or it goes on pause and until we meet again. Obviously somebody will win here, but I don't see either of these groups, nobody's turning on somebody here, if that makes sense. is how I feel. But what do you think? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the comments if you're watching this later. I just feel like it'll be a great match. We hurt people will be sung from the rafters. Ricochet will do all kinds of the Ricochet things. We're going to get some awesome spots. We'll get a cool ending. And then I don't know what that means for either characters or groups of characters moving forward. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Tino Ibarra in the chat says, Ricochet just loves to cheat. Samantha better keep tabs on him. Ooh. Always like that. Always cheating. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Is that what you're saying, Tino? Is that what you're saying? Tino giving you no grace. No grace. Telling you better keep an eye on that guy. All right. I don't even know where we're at here. All right. Oh, I know where we're at. We're at the point where you should join us. If you're in the chat, if you're lurking, if you're watching the show, the live stream, join us in the chat. Talk to us like Tino is doing, like Theo is doing. Join us in the conversation tonight, because normally I have a co-host, Tom, but he doesn't love you like I love you. And so I'm here doing it by myself while Tom enjoys his family. And we're talking about AEW Dynamite, and I want to know what you thought about it. So the next segment that I liked a lot, because we've been asking for answers with this, is we get a pre-taped video of Hook. And he's sitting on a rooftop in front of a fire, right? I like this. Hook is better in this than give me the microphone in front of the people. He doesn't hit that well, right? Like, I think this, where you put him in a chill setting, right, that looks like he's cool, he can kind of deliver a slow, more methodical approach, like I'm trying to mimic now, right? I like that. And he answers, he says, yeah, I was mad. They replaced me before my body was even cold. But then he says what we said last week, but this is athletics, man. Like, you went down with an injury. They had a title match. Were they just supposed to be like, never mind, we don't want to vie for those championships? Duh. Like, that's not going to happen. So he's like, all right, explain it. I get it. Cool. Fine. We're not, no hard feelings. We're cool. And I appreciate that they have my back. But maybe, this is where it gets good. He says, maybe. He goes, for me, I think it's just time that Hook stands on his own. And then we're getting ready to fade. And he goes, or maybe not. And then we end. And that, I know Tom isn't here, and I've been shitting on him, but that's so Tom to be like, do this, A, B equals C, so that means that. Or not. Like, just throw that in there at the end to cover your tracks, right? Cover your tracks. We have to be getting something with that, right? You don't say that for no reason, right? Hook meant that, right? Like, Hook's going to get a partner? Or maybe it's just Taz? I don't know. I don't know what we do here. Maybe Hook gets rid of. Maybe Hook, he takes over the ops and get out of here, Samoa Joe. We didn't really like you. So it's Shibata, Hobbs, and Hook. They have a little... We'll have to see who is the member and the champion. I don't know what we go with there. What do you think? What do you think? I want to know what you think. Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the comments. But we're in Philly. We're in the 2300 arena. So that means it's time to get hardcore. It's time for a Philly street fight. And we got the AEW Women's World Champion. I believe this was no title. Like, title not on the line. Taking on the Sky Blue of the Triangle of Madness in a Philly street fight. And I think this is match of the night, right? I think everybody probably would agree. It was a tribute almost to the 2300 arena, right? Toni Storm, full Sandman gimmick, right? Kendo stick, which is awesome, right? I love that. Crowd loved it, of course, because it's Philly, right? Give Philly people Philly stuff. They love that. Gave you a Super Bowl, you thing. Go Chiefs. The match, awesome. Plunder is a way to say it, right? Weapons all over the place. Like I said, kendo sticks. We got trash cans. Right? We got street signs. We got a table covered in mouse traps. Mouse traps. I ain't trying to get powerbombed through some mouse traps. Very brutal match. These ladies really showing again that they're tough, that they're doing this thing, right? They're like, we can do this. This is our show. We're going to give you that business. Just put each other through some mousetrap tables. What are you going to do about it? We get a Storm Zero. Skye Blue through the steel chair for the victory for Toni Storm. She's awesome. She's the GOAT. She's the best in the world. But after the match is where we start to get even weirder, right? We get the Triangle of Madness groups. They come out. Tekla, Julia Hart. They're attacking Toni Storm, right? So Chris Statlander comes out to make the save. Jamie Hayter comes out to help. Kissing biceps and fucking clotheslining people. Except she meant to clothesline Julia Hart. Clothesline Chris Statlander. So that allowed Tekla to, get the spear, stand there, holding the belt, looking like she's all, you know what I mean? Ready to take the title. And, I think this set up good for the match, right? I think we got a every woman for herself 4-way championship match now, right? For All Out. I like this. I think the crowd reaction was awesome. Fan reaction online was overwhelmingly positive from what I saw. Skye Blue did better, I think, than a lot of people expected. There was a lot of praise for Skye Blue online about her performance in here. And just the hardcoreness, right? I think we've been seeing a lot more of the ladies here in AEW say, we about that business too. We do that thing too. We'll stick a screwdriver in somebody's fucking earlobe. I don't give a shit. Right? They are ready to fight. They're ready to bring the business. They're ready to bloody a bitch up. And they're ready for something like an Anarchy in the Arena, blood and guts. Let's do it. Let's do it. What are your thoughts? What did you think about this segment here? Are these the Triangle of Madness? I've said we got to get spooky when we do a spooky gimmick, right? And I like them being in this hardcore stuff because that's kind of how you're going to do it without getting too supernatural, right? I don't want TNA Sami Callihan weird, spooky stuff, right? I want to feel like there's an aura of darkness, right? Of gothic, right? That there is something creepy and amiss about, right? But I don't need, you know what I mean? I don't need weird stuff. I don't know how best to explain it. I don't need, crazy stuff. So hardcore helps in that because it just shows that sort of like, I will bring you to hell with me, right? Like, we'll get crazy. And so I like that. I like that we threw these ladies in here and they came out looking like some champs, man. All of them, including the champ, the women's world champion, Toni Storm. She's the best. She's just better than everybody else. She's better than everybody else. Man, woman, they, them. She's better than everybody else in pro wrestling. I'm going to leave that there. That's what I think about that. But we can't leave out the biggest thing that happened here tonight, right? What tonight or last night will be remembered for is the heel turn heard round the wrestling world, right? It comes after the main event, so let's talk about that a little bit. We get this 10-man tag team match, right? We get Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, this up-and-coming young tag team, Mr. Instant Replay and Slick Nick, right? They come out. They got $250,000 a pop on the line, ready to make that money, ready to get that dough, taking on the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Bro Dito, and the AEW World Trios Champions, the Ops, the Hookless Ops, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Katsuyori Shibata. And, I mean, what do you expect of a 10-man tag team match? You get it, right? You get it here. You get all the wrestlers wrestling. But this centers around, like, this is all based kind of around the motivations of the heels here, right? Death Riders are here. Violence. We're going to fight. Fuck some shit up. We're ready to fuck you up. Oddly enough, the Ops are kind of about that, too. The Young Bucks are about that money. They need that money, so they're going to get there. They're going to fight, too, because they need that money and they don't have other options for it. Give me that money. And I like this, right? We got Chaos. We got Powerhouse Hobbs doing the series of the splashes. Brody King, too big to get swung, which we swung Great Khali, but yeah, I like it. Bandito, I think a double Hurricane Rana on the Young Bucks at the same time. I think that's how you say it, right? Hurricane Rana. I liked it though, right? A lot of action here. I mean, like I said, it's an AEW match. You're going to get a lot of up, down, over here, over the rope, smack, a lot of slap the leg. We got a lot of that going on in this, especially in a 10-man tag team match. We get Matt Jackson rolling up Bandito, right? Foot on the ropes. I think the Young Buck 2 had the other foot, holding it down, and pinfall victory. They get the $500,000. Again, I only make that, like I said, fucking 4 days, something like that. It's no joke. It's a good amount of money. Right? Buy a decent car. Tino says, was that a botch or was him being too big always part of the plan? Either way, loved it. Ooh, yeah, I didn't encounter, was it possible that he was going to swing him? And man, Claudio's now 10 years older. And the back was like, brother, no, you ain't. You ain't swinging another big bastard. He's going to go to the doc and be like, doc, I don't know what happened. I couldn't get him up for the swing. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, look, we can see degradation in your vertebrae. Right, anyway. Yeah, I don't know if that was a botch or if that was made to make Brody King look like a big, beefy badass. Maybe, it accomplished both, maybe. I don't know. All right, yeah, so it is the post-match, right, that we get here. We get more chaos, right? Young Bucks grab the money. They're on their way out. Brody King's like, you son of a bitch, right? I'm after you. I'm going to steal that money. Where is it?
I'm going to beat your ass and I'm going to steal your weed.
What? Right? That's what he said. We get the Death Riders. They start stomping out the Ops, right? Taking that moment to fucking beat your ass, right? And that's where Darby Allin to the save, Mighty Mouse, right? He's out there. He's sprinting to the ring. He's going to fucking make the save. And we get Darby and Jon Moxley, right? And we've been hinting at this is coming for some time. So they get to fucking fight, right? Until Moxley is assisted by a mysterious hooded figure who initially you might think would be Gabe fucking Kidd. But it wasn't. It wasn't. Because as that hooded figure dramatically revealed themselves, it was Daniel Garcia. No longer the thrust monster. Right? Fucking pelvis Zilla. Right? No more of that. He's now beating shit out of Darby Allin. In fact, curb stomping him, not the curb stomp move, right? Different, but giving him the old fucking shoving him down on the mat a couple times. Just brutal, right? Just crowd is booing. You sold out, right? You sold out chants, right? Moxley snarling, right? Doing his shoulder back walk, right? Everybody's booing. This was a great moment, right? Garcia's soaking in and just looking like he can give a shit, right? Like, yeah, what? Fuck you, right? Just looking around like, oh, fuck you. You know what I mean? Boo me. Right? He didn't even have like an attitude about it. He's just kind of taking it in, right? Just kind of watching it with a little bit of disgust, right? Darby Allin, motionless, right? Nobody there. Nobody likes Darby to come help him other than, the people that already ran off, I guess. But I like this, man. Daniel Garcia has had an identity crisis for a while. right? Tino says, how did he sell out? We all know Mox doesn't have any money. He lives off Renee. Exactly. What are you going to sell out? Just get the Young Bucks sold out. Daniel Garcia seems to be doing this for love of the game. I don't know. We don't know the deal. Haven't seen the contracts. But Daniel Garcia's had an identity crisis for a while. Now, we for a bit had the fucking dance thing, which we love. I love it. I want to do the dance, right? I want to fucking, I want to torture friends with that. But it didn't hit as big, right? And there's been this struggle, right? It was initially Bryan Danielson, right? You're a gifted pro wrestler. You could be, you could be what I am, right? And Chris Jericho saying, no, you got to be the sports entertainer, right? Do the dance, right? Torn between that. But since that, he's kind of been floundering around doing not much. Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, who I like, is always around him. I don't know what he's going to have to say about this, where he's going to fit into that. I hope next to nothing. Even though I like Daddy Magic, he's one of my favorites. I like Matt Menard a lot. I just think this is done, right? Let's get Garcia to slap him around one time, and then they're done, right? They're done, at least for a while. But I like this. He's got a third path, right? It's not just sports entertainer or pure pro wrestler. It's fucking vicious, violent fighter, right? I'm going to fight you. I'm going to punch you in the mouth. I'm going to stomp you in the dick. I'm going to put a screwdriver through your cleft palate if I have to. I'm winning, and sometimes I don't even care if I'm winning. I just want you to get tougher, right? You to fucking realize that this is a fight, right? And that's what Daniel Garcia is poised to do under the tutelage of Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. We have tried to hit before the Garcia, don't do the dance. No, I should do the dance, right? I think we can hit that now if we put in good work here. Moxley and crew are the perfect people to hate him, wanting to have a little swagger and celebrate himself. Once we get him into the monster, he's doing the rabid dog bidding of Jon Moxley and the Death Riders like a good Death Rider. Once he starts to feel himself a little bit, then they're like, hey, don't do that. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. We fight and then we eat steaks. You know what I mean? And we don't shower. All right. Once you get him into that, and then, once he's doing the fucking, that's when we can really be like, no, I don't need to just murder people. I want to dance. That's where I think it ends. I hope. Hire me, Tony. I'm telling you. But yeah, what do you think? Jon Moxley with Daniel Garcia, I feel like he fits perfectly with this group. We are growing the factions to sizable numbers, aren't we? Jon Moxley, the Death Riders. Pac is injured, unfortunately, but they're growing. The Don Callis family's growing. What do we do here, right? We need the Dark Order back. I think we need the Dark Order back. But, man, I didn't necessarily expect it, Daniel Garcia, but when I saw him, I wasn't shocked, if that makes sense, right? Like, okay, good. Let's now do something with Daniel Garcia. My worry is we start doing that. Weren't we supposed to do that with Yuta? Wasn't Yuta the soldier that was supposed to get fucked over? But maybe not. Maybe he's just now, he's just now the middle class frat boy, right? Like he's the junior, right? And you're just there. He's just a guy. But I don't know, man. Dynamite was solid. Everything has a purpose, right? Everything was about motive, right? Like everybody has a clear defined thing they're trying to accomplish or thing they're doing. Garcia joining the Death Riders is massive development. I think it's a really strong go home style show, right? I know we're going to have another show, but so who knows what we're going to get on that, but I feel like we're really building to some good stuff here. The pay-per-view card is stacked already. I like that we're getting that in advance, right? There was a time where we didn't know until a couple weeks before, right? Tino says, Evil Uno to beat Kyle for the TNT Championship. That would be fun. I like Evil Uno. We need more Evil Uno. Again, the Philly residency was a success. I know we've got a little bit of time here. I think Collision will be there, but I want more of these, right? Go to the towns where you know you'll get a good crowd and a good venue that wants to be there, that wants to be a part of the show, right? Have these chants to really get into the characters and the storylines and stay there for a couple weeks, right? Let them have their moments and their shine, because you'll get sort of a rolling thing. That's how you can kind of build some things that happen organically, right? Because if that crowd gets a niche thing that they say or do, that can carry over to the next one, right? It's a little easier to build things like that, right? Where there's sort of this familiarity and camaraderie in the crowd members, right? Loved it. Loved the Philly residency. Loved the Chicago residency they did. Come to a Kansas City residency. I know you're coming to Kansas City, but like, come for a couple weeks, man. Really want to see how my wife reacts to me saying, no, I gotta go to Dynamite 3 weeks in a row. Please? All right, what was your match of the night? Tell me in the chat here while we got some time left. Tell me in the comments later if you're watching this back. That women's street fight was awesome. The main event was wild. Garcia's turn, as we talked about a bunch. Man, I just had a blast. I like that all of you are in here talking to me in the chat with Tino and Theo, right? You guys are being good friends. Tom's being a bad co-host. He's not here. We didn't quite make it to a whole hour. Radio chops are a little dwindled over the years. It's been a good decade or more plus since I've had practice at this. But, 50 minutes or so of a podcast by myself talking about AEW. Loved it. Tino says that street fight ruled and the main event was so much fun. And I agree. I think this Dynamite was really good. Again, I'm a very heavy storyline driven fan, right? I like there to be stories and reasons for me to care about why these people are about to fight. And we got a fuck ton of that, a metric shit ton of it last night in AEW's presentation. And we've been getting more of it week over week. And I'm excited about where next week is. Or what it poises or what it stands to be, and leading into All Out, where we'll make some predictions next week for that. And Tom will have to wear that fucking god awful shirt. It won't be me anymore. More of that next week. You should join us. Again, aewrapup@gmail.com if you want to send us something more long form, right? If you want to type out a long email or send me a video clip or an audio clip, we'll read or play that here, and we will talk to you, because this show is about us, but it's about you talking to us. So talk to us, send me some emails, send me some blue skies, chat with me live. And other than that,
I will see you next week, dumbass.